Hello guys and welcome back. My name is Dr. Rismonda Badi. Today I'm going to give you the concluding part of reasons why some people would continue to stay in a toxic relationship. For some people, they have some kind of disability or handicap. It may be a physical one. For example, they actually really have a physical disability, and because of that they are dependent on the abuser, and so they know or feel that if they leave, there'll be nobody to take care of them. Sometimes it is not a physical disability, it's financial or psychological dependence. And so you are a woman and you are not working either by choice or because your man insisted you don't work, you be a stay-at-home mom. And so you don't have any kind of financial muscles, any kind of financial reserves. Everything you need, it would have to come from that man. Your pad, your phone credits, everything is from this man. And so then how do you walk away? Where do you go and live? How do you go with your children? Who is going to feed you? And so you look at all these things, and based on those limitations or disabilities, you decide that you let me just stay here like that. Do not make yourself fall into any form of disability. There are some that we cannot avoid. It happens to us or we are born that way. But any kind of man-made disability, especially for those of us women who are not working and we are totally and completely dependent on our husbands or our partners, that kind of life, we have left that stage long ago. And so please migrate. And I'm not asking women to be financially independent so that they can leave their husbands. The best kind of life is to be a wife who is loved by a man and who is living with your man and raising your children together. This is for extreme cases where your relationship is abusive and is threatening your very life or sanity. Sometimes what an abuser would do is that they will gradually alienate you from your family and friends and everybody close to you. And all you have is them. And so for years you haven't spoken to any friend. You don't go home. Anything that family is doing, you will not go. If there's a funeral, you won't attend. If they are asking for donation to help somebody in need, anything that happens in the family, and so you have managed to completely alienate yourself from all your social cycles or circles. And the only thing at the center of your world is the marriage. When that happens and the abuse gets to that point where you want to walk out, there's nobody to go to. There's nowhere to go, nobody to turn to. You are completely alienated. And it gets you stuck there. And so if you are in a relationship where you have cut ties with everybody else except your man, it is not safe. Except your woman, it is not safe. If they are the only people speaking into your life, if they are the only people advising you, that is a recipe for them to manipulate you. You think the way they want you to think, you act the way they want you to act, you see things the way they want you to see things. And so you need to wake up and break away from that kind of cycle. Anybody who wants you to be cut off from everybody else, that relationship is a manipulative and abusive one. Open your eyes, wake up. Sometimes you are in a very bad relationship and you want to be a savior, you want to be the good one. And so you know it is bad, but you are stuck in there for years, year in, year out. You are trying to do your best. You think you can be a savior. You think that the more or the longer you love him or her, the more you change for him or her, the more likely that they are going to be better for you. That is not true. That is not true. People will change only when they are ready to change and only when they believe that they should change. Your sacrifices and whatever you are putting into the relationship is no guarantee that that man or woman is going to change. You don't get to be a savior. Jesus Christ died for all of us. Nobody is supposed to sacrifice their life for any. The ultimate sacrifice has been done by Jesus already. Please don't sacrifice your life waiting for people to change. There are people who have waited for 20 years, 30 years, people who have waited all their lives, and the change they waited for never came. There are people who have died waiting from that same abuse. What are you waiting for? Are you not learning from the examples that have been set already in society? Haven't you heard of men and women who have stayed until they have died? They have been literally murdered in cold blood by the people they were waiting to change and to love them. And the last thing I want to talk about, but not the least, is that ultimate excuse that a lot of women, I have given that same excuse before. I gave the excuse that I wanted to stay for my children. And a lot of us, we say that we want to stay for our children. We want them to grow up in a functional home. We don't want to have a broken home. But do you have any idea what raising children in a broken, abusive, or dysfunctional family does to the children? The psychological and emotional import. Do you have any idea? Can you imagine your son or daughter watching your partner abuse you emotionally, psychologically, physically, any possible way exploiting you? I had to come to a point where I woke up from that dream and said, no, I don't want to stay here. I don't want my daughter growing up thinking that the way I was being treated is the way a man is supposed to treat his wife. That is not the model I want her to grow up with in her mind. I didn't want my son to grow up seeing that example of a man in that house and think that that is the same way it is supposed to be. Because children learn from their first role models, we the parents. And so I decided, thank God I did, to take that bold step to take them out of that environment and raise them on a clean slate where there is no negative influence, and try in whatever way I can to show them what the right thing should be. At least if I cannot give them the best or what should be the best, I should not expose them to toxicity. And just pray that God brings other men, other male or female role models into the lives of your children who would help you to raise them right, should you end up becoming a single parent. And so that excuse about staying for your children, sometimes it causes more harm than good. Do you really, really, really want to live for your children? Sometimes staying in there is what will kill you. And I know that for me, if I hadn't moved, I would have died or gone insane. And what would have become of my children? No matter what, a mother is the one who would raise her children in the most loving way if all her faculties are intact. There's nobody to do a better job for your children than yourself. So don't keep yourself in a situation where you are going to lose your life. Don't keep yourself in a situation where you are going to lose your sanity. I've said it before and I'll say it over and over. The covenant of life is above every other covenant. And so any kind of relationship that threatens your life or the quality of your life, not for your children, not for anybody else, for you, walk away. Walk away. You have a right to live. I'm so glad I chose to live. And my life is fuller and better. See you in my next episode.
夢裏風輕似走溫，來時自攜微光影，不覺已是別路人。我偷了黃昏的酒，走着。